So I covered a story last week which was about Bungie and Destiny. If you don't know, basically someone filed a load of DMCAs against a whole host of YouTube videos specifically to do with Destiny 2. Now when it first came to light, people were thinking that it was actually Destiny doing the DMC strikes. However, this was all turned on its head when Destiny 2 itself was also put under a DMCA strike. So if this is the first time you've caught wind of this, this is just kind of the general overview of what's happened. So you have DMCA strikes, or the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. On paper, this is a tool that's meant to be a positive thing. It's meant to help you protect your content that you've created and stop other people from just ripping off the work that you've put a lot of hard effort into. Now, on YouTube, there are an abundance of videos. There's billions and billions of them. And because of this, they automate the process when dealing with DMCA strikes. Now, when you get reported, you get your video taken down by YouTube, and then it's up to you to contest that strike. So now some less than pleasant individuals have realized that they can use this as a tool to actually harass and take down videos unnecessarily. And this is exactly what's happened with Destiny 2. As you can imagine, Destiny 2 are not happy about this. Not only did it impact their own content, but it also impacted a lot of their high-profile content creators. And Destiny 2, if you go through their guidelines, they massively support the creation of third-party content. Because at the end of the day, it's a great marketing tool and it helps bring in people into Destiny 2. So Bungie got in contact with YouTube, and then YouTube dug into the situation to find out what was going on. And upon investigation, they found out it was all bogus, no surprise there. But it was actually someone creating a whole load of Google accounts to mimic the anti-piracy partner known as the CSC. So everything got fixed and everything is relatively normal now. However, Bungie aren't really too happy with the situation. And there are two things they're mainly not happy about. One is that with the YouTube accounts being created and people, maliciously taking down all these videos. And the other one is they're actually criticizing Google at the moment because of how easy it was to create all of these fake notices. Now, even though I said everything had been cleared up, what's really interesting is that Bungie aren't letting this one go because they've actually launched a massive lawsuit in the US. Now, in terms of who they're suing, they don't actually know at the moment. There are 10 emails, from my understanding, that they are targeting. And then to reveal who's the actual owners of these, to determine if it is one or many people, is they're going to use a DMCA subpoena. And they really are going for the throat, because they've put, this caused Bungie significant reputational and economic damage for obvious reasons. The Destiny community was bewildered and upset, believing that Bungie had reneged on a promise to allow players to build their own streaming communities and YouTube channels on Destiny 2 content. And I mean, I completely understand that. Like, Destiny 2 is a free-to-play game. Its community and reputation are incredibly important to it. Now, personally, I think the most interesting part of this whole tale is the actual reason, or the suspected reason, on why they think this actually came about. Because back in March, there was actually some legitimate DMCA strikes by the CSC, 41 actually, and these were all for alleged breaches of intellectual property of Bungie. And for the most part, Bungie is pretty relaxed when it comes to what you can do with their content, because you can pretty much use their content as much as you like, as long as you have 20% of your own footage in there, which in the grand scheme of things isn't that much. So, and I've had to read this a fair few times to get my head around it. The original DMCA strikes, Bungie believes that it's a retaliation to those because they feel that it was unfair for their videos to be taken down. And this is where things get even more weird, because Bungie are pretty sure at the moment that to cover their tracks, the defendants, they sent fake DMCA strikes to their own channel so that they can then put a counter notice to both the fake ones and the real ones and get their videos reinstated. Now, there's some real concrete evidence in there as well. We don't know the names of the people who basically sent these emails out, but one of them sent an email to the YouTubers and they said, "Finally, I know this hardly means anything, but I apologize to you and everyone who else was affected by my selfish actions. You have every right to be furious with me. My goal was to get Bungie to see the fake takedowns and stop them. That's all." But it would seem that Bungie are saying too little too late on this one, because they're going in for the throat really, because they're asking for $150,000 for each fraudulent takedown notice that was thrown at them. Anyway, I find this absolutely fascinating. I do try and follow DMCA stories where I can. Thankfully, I have never really had any crossings with this type of activity on YouTube, even though my career in it is relatively young. But there you go, that's pretty much it. I might do a follow-up story when it finally goes to court, but until then, Hope you're all well, have a great week, and I'll be back with more news and reviews soon.